Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now. While the angels fly over my headstone.
We are back with another episode of the God's Hour podcast with your boy Big Sir Bevel, back in the place to be, La Merca Superior, Palace 81 Studios, back in effect, live and direct. Time and time again, tell a friend, to your girlfriend for me. Numero 96, OASIS. I dropped an instrumental album called OASIS. What is it? Or maybe a few days ago, like 4 days ago. I mean, what I'm trying to do is, I think I spoke on this last podcast, but I have just a whole bunch of beats that I'm trying to put out. And so Poison Gas was a whole album, not even a whole album, just like a bunch of beats I made off of one record. OASIS is the same idea. It's literally one record chopped up in a whole bunch of loops. And I just called it OASIS. I really love the vibe of the record. I got it in East LA. And all the records I get from East LA like have a vibe to them. It's really crazy, you know, like there's like when they say curators and all that shit, I feel like record shops are like the original curators of the sound, because they're the ones that are literally selling the records that people, you know, are going to be buying, obviously. So you have shit like East Side Story, you have records like Ralphie Pacan, or just a whole bunch of records that I wouldn't really know because I wasn't buying records back in the day. I just know what's her name, Linda Ronstadt, whatever her name is. I forget her name. What's the other girl? She did that Femme Fatale record. Damn, I used to know her name off the top too. I don't know, but just a whole bunch of records that are in these record stores are like the sound of the raza. This record, though, in particular that I sampled, I've never heard of this group. It's such a generic name, too. I don't want to burn myself out, but obviously you can find it. I did get copy written for, I did get hit with a flag for it, so you could see like the credits of it. And right now, I don't really care about my stuff being copywritten. But when I do start to monetize on my channel, I probably will take a whole bunch of videos down. And it's pretty much, the record is really dope. It kind of like almost not soft rock, but to me it kind of more sounds like some sort of like jazz R&B or something like that. There's no like real way for me to put my thumb on it. It's just like a really good record. Like how, you know, Sublime wasn't really like hip hop or reggae. It was like its own thing. That's kind of what I get from this record. It's just its own genre of band making music. Over the weekend, not even over the weekend, but on Friday, I did an open mic show at Audio Dope. And dedication, man, really just dedicating myself to the craft. I went right after work, so I didn't even go straight home. I was super fucking tired. And it was like, I'm one of the first people there all the time. And I remember one of the homies, I forget his name. It's like RVO something, but shout out to him. He recorded my performance for 997. I performed, produced by NC. RVO, he's outside and he's like, "Hey man, you think this is gonna be like lit? It's gonna be lit tonight or what?" And I'm like, I don't really care about that. You know, I don't perform at shows like, oh, is this gonna be lit? It's whatever it's gonna be is what it's gonna be, and I'm just gonna perform. And I don't really care. I don't really care about who's there, who's not there. I mean, I'm just trying to get my performance down, and I'm still like, Audio Dope has been going on for about almost a year now. Like, definitely like what, 10 months, almost 11 months at this point. I'm still trying to figure out my like spot over there, because there's songs that work there and there's songs that don't work there. I feel like I've only gotten maybe 2 songs that have worked there. Your Laughter, I feel like I got a good response from. I got a good response from Flores with Lonius, and I've gotten a good response from, what is it, Lunchtime with Adobe Premiere, which was all from the same set from the show I did when I actually got booked. I am booked. I don't know if I think I've said this already, but I'm booked already for August and July. So if you could come out, support your boy. August 25th, and I think July 7th is what it is. And Noah still hasn't texted me back. Just thinking about it right now. I told him, I was like, yo, what are the times for the shows and shit? And he hasn't hit me back. So hopefully, you know, there's not no funny shit going on where it's like, oh yeah, I booked you, but then like you're not. It's I just booked you for like you to think I booked you, but he didn't really book me or whatever. I think that'd be corny if that happened. I don't know. I didn't get to see him because I was gonna ask him in person, because that's why I don't like this internet shit. It's just like, I'm gonna see you in person and we're gonna talk about it, versus the phones. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's just the Matrix, and people are either like in tune with the Matrix or they're not, or I don't know what it is. People are lost in the sauce sometimes. I just answered a simple question like, what are the times for my shows? And he didn't hit me back, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's the hoopla with that one. I performed 997. I was the 7th person on the open mic list, and I was the first. But I was the first one there. I could have been the first one. And they're like, "Oh, you're not on the. You're like not gonna sign up for open mic. Like, what's going on?" I'm like, "I am. Like, who's on the list already?" And it was already like 6 people. I was like, "Oh nah, like I gotta do it now," because they closed the list at a certain point. And I'm like, I always go first. Why would I want to go? I go first all the time, bro. I want to be in the middle this time. They're like, "Oh no, we're gonna put you first." But they were joking with me because I was about to be like, "No, bro. Like we're gonna go in order. I signed up 7th. I'm gonna go 7th. Don't fucking be over here like, oh yeah, Serbs is going first." Like, I get it. I'm honored to be part of the program, kicking it off, but I kick it off all the time. You let some of these other guys that, you know, they come in here with their 5 friends and they all do open mic. You let them go first and you let them warm the crowd up all the time. And plus, I want to see how my music does. If y'all are over here doing the same songs, doing the same routine, it's like, what does that matter if you perform for 5 people or 20 people when you kind of already know the gist of it? I have not done a single song twice while I've been open mic, even in my performance. I've never done the same song again because, like I said, I'm trying to figure out, okay, what works, what doesn't work. They don't like the boom bap shit. Okay, we'll give them melodies. They don't really like lyricism, so we're gonna make it more simple for them. And that's not to kind of, you know, like find my lane. I already feel like I found my lane, but it's like, bro, if you keep throwing shit at the wall and nothing sticks, then what are we really doing here? You know, every room is gonna have its own sound. But I feel like I have like such a unique sound that anything I do, I feel like is gonna be received at least pretty well. Like a general consensus is like, okay, like this fool could spit. It's more lyric based. It's more so, oh, we're not here singing and dancing. Like, one of these open micers, their whole routine was a song and dance. And they weren't even spitting none of their lyrics. They were just like doing a whole bunch of this over here, like dancing, all hooping and hollering. And they were doing that. What's his name? Who does this dumb shit right here? The Remble. Like, they were doing the Remble dance. And I'm like, okay, so you're telling me you get a better performance just because you don't perform your lyrics and you're just dancing and freaking doing the cucaracha up there? Like, that don't mean that. Like, how, like, where does that even fall under? Okay, like, he's a good performer. It's like, no, bro, you're just a good dancer. Like backup dance for somebody else or something. If that's what you're gonna do, be a dancer, because you're not rapping. You're really not. You're making it seem like you're a good artist or something like that. But if you're just gonna be doing that, bro, just dance. Be like, I'm a backup dancer for Lil Romeo or whatever it is. And I'm kind of like, this is what it goes back to. I'm like, literally, you could have bad music and it still works out because of your performance. Me, it's kind of the opposite, where the performance, I'm still working on it. I feel like I'm getting better and better. I'm finding my like own little lane and kind of like signals and hand movements and gestures whenever I perform. I'm finding new pockets in my performance, but it's still not like I'm not letting my music play. And whenever I miss my lines, I kind of like laugh. I'm laughing, but internally I'm like, fuck, I fucked up. But a bunch of other artists, they miss lines and it doesn't even matter. Like, they just keep, they'll literally, a whole 16 will go by. A whole freaking 16 bars fly, and these fools sing the hook. They're just singing the hook up there. I'm like, okay, bruh. I could have just listened to this song on Spotify. You could have just been like, we're going to dance, and this is my Spotify. So we don't care about none of this shit that's going on, no kind of performance, but we're just gonna play our song. We're gonna be hooting and hollering, and this is our Spotify. Just be like that, because I mean, it's really like me and 2 or 3 other people that really are about this, about lyrics and being just great MCs. MC goes up there and holds the crowd down, not plays a song. Like if you're gonna do that, just be a DJ. Like, call yourself something else, because DJs, they play songs and they get the crowd into it, and that's it. Literally, bro, y'all are more like DJs than real artists or real rappers, because literally, I had enough of this. I really had enough of people calling themselves something that they're not. And I'm not hating. This is no hate. This is not like, oh, well, I don't want the youngsters or whoever it is. I don't want this to come off as hate, because when I come off, I could come off like that. But really, bruh, what are we doing? If you're not rapping your lyrics, what is that? What is that? I don't know what it is. I'm literally trying to figure it the fuck out. But with me, I performed 997 up there. Shout out to the homie NC. He produced it. That's off of Sonya. I should be more. What is it? Promoting. Better at promoting. Cause I just be like, yo, follow my Instagram, Twitter. Like, fuck all that, yo. Like, go listen to the album. Like, if you want to listen to this song, go listen to Sonya. I didn't do that, but shout out to Ace Sincere. He said I was one of his favorite rappers. That was pretty dope to me. And it was hilarious because in the footage you could see, like, you know, he's like, he's gonna have your girl sucking on his ding dong, and everyone copied me. As soon as I said, "Hey yo," early in the night, everyone's all, "Hey yo." I'm like, that's not an "hey yo." I had to grab the mic and be like, "Yo, there's not a pause for getting your dick sucked by a chick, is there?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're not saying pause anymore, all that, because, you know, someone in the production is homosexual or whatever the fuck it is." I'm like, okay, then what's the problem? Like, y'all can't pause getting your dick sucked by a girl. I mean, I get it's spicy if you're not into that stuff and that sounds wild to you, but literally pause comes from the other stuff that, you know, is politically correct stuff that I'm not gonna talk about. While I'm there, I hear a familiar voice. I turn around and it's the Did I Stutter? Did I Stutter guy was there again. After my performance, I'm talking with LV Supernova. Shout out to LV Supernova. He wanted to, I don't know if he wanted to go to the bar or something, but we ended up at the bar and I don't drink. So I got a cup of water. I gave the lady a tip. I didn't know water was free. I thought water was like $4.99 anywhere you go now. But Did I Stutter guy is right there and he's like, hey, fool, take a seat. And I really don't want to take a seat, but for the sake of having material on the podcast, I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm going to just take a seat and see what this fool has to say to me. And he starts talking to me about, he's like, hey, fool, I like your hair. And I'm like, thanks. He's like, yeah, you look like a Marine. I said, this conversation's going nowhere fucking fast. Like, that's your opening lines. Like, I like your hair. Like, what do I look like, a bitch or something? Like, what the fuck? So, and then he goes, hey, fool, look at this. You see that? And it's like an old ass tattoo he probably got in the 80s. I'm like, no, I don't know what that is. He's like, that's Zozo, the gatekeeper of hell. I look at LV Supernova. He's like, I'm like, all right, dog, we gotta go. I was like, I'm gonna go enjoy the show. He's like, Gaile, homie, Gaile. I was like, fuck, that was like some of the weirdest shit. Like, Did I Stutter guy really brings great material on for the podcast. I'm glad I started doing this because this is like literal therapy. I literally meet weirdos that just like want to interact with me on some weird shit. And it's kind of funny when I bring it up, but I'm like, whatever, dude. So LV Supernova, we get out of there. LV Supernova's like, yo, I got a show in Santa Ana and I got VIP tickets and I want to invite, I'm inviting you to my show because we're going to do like a little secret album listening party or whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's dope. I'll see if I can make it. And he's like, all right, for sure. He's like, we got bottle. I'm getting a whole bunch of bottles too. And I'm like, I don't drink. He's like, all right. I'm bringing weed. I said, I don't smoke. And he's like, all right, well, for sure. If you want to come through, like, you know, it was kind of like, yeah, it's funny. I'm sober now. So and being sober now and looking around at people who just get all fucked up and shit. It's like literally watching babies. Like, y'all are grown ass babies just getting all faded. And I don't know what it is. I don't see the point of it now. You know, I think about, you know, maybe I should just kind of, you know, take a swig or something or take a hit or something. I'm like, no, why the fuck would I do that? It's just, you know, as it is, I'm trying to fucking deal with my anxiety, and my anxiety is something that I deal with every day. And the whole reason why I stopped, the whole reason why I'm sober is because I was getting anxiety, and now I'm fucking getting anxiety without being high, and now it's just like this weird thing I gotta live with forever now. So I don't know. I really don't know what's gonna happen. I invited a girl. I don't know if y'all remember the last podcast, but this girl I invited, and I don't know why I do this. Like, I just love inviting women that just do, like, blatantly don't want shit to do with me, like, in my life at all. They don't answer my messages. They block me. They go to the extremes of letting it be known that they don't want to like be in any kind of relations, friendship, acquaintanceship, like, just. And I'm just the dumbass right here, just like, hey, like, I know it's been like 6 years, but do you want to like come to my show? And then they're like, oh yeah, I would love to see you perform. If you would love to see me perform, then like, why don't you just pull up to the show, instead of me being like, oh, like, can you make it to the show earlier in the week? And then you don't respond. That was like, I automatically knew from right there. I'm like, this girl's not gonna roll through. So I wasn't even surprised. I didn't even plan it. Like, I had shit. Like, me, I'm a Capricorn, so I plan things out. Okay, we're gonna do this, and this. if somehow we end up doing something spontaneously, then we could get into some other shit like that. But really, I'm more so of a planner. I want to know what's going to go down at 9. I want to eat breakfast. So at 12, I could do a podcast. So at 2, I could go to work. And then maybe in between, I watch episode of Power. I make some chicken tacos. Maybe I have to go to the store, buy shit and make cookies, things like that. But I plan it all out to a T, basically. And so with this girl, she didn't show up. And the way I feel about it, I feel it's like, well, you flaked on me the first time. You flaked on me this time. Do I wait to invite you to the next show so you could flake on me again? No, I don't. I'm not. I'm not going to invite this girl. I don't want her around me. It upsets me because it's like, see, this is how karma works. You fucking do some snaky, ghosty type shit to somebody for someone you like to do that to you. I'm not out here entertaining women. Whenever women message me that I'm not interested in, I keep it really short, and that really doesn't happen often. I'm more so the one engaging and talking to women, and they're the ones who giving me stiff arms. But you know what the funny thing about that is? They're getting stiff armed by dudes that they like, because dudes that they like are getting stiff armed by girls that they like, and it's a whole bullshit ass cycle that I'm trying to get away from. I'm really not trying to be around women. If you're making it obvious you don't want to be in my life, then fuck it. Whatever. That's not really a big deal. Just don't make it seem like it's the other way. Oh, I really do want to see you. You say that, but then your actions is get the fuck out of here. I really don't like that. Just be straight up. Just be like, hey, I don't know if I could make it. We'll see. That's more, to me, that's more honorable than I would love to see you, but then you don't return my messages. What kind of bullshit is that? I really don't like that. I really don't. Y'all know how I feel about that, but I was just like, wow, what a shocker, you flaked on me again. When it comes to anybody, it just doesn't have to be women. Just whenever anybody gives me a flaky type vibe, I look at them a certain way. I move a certain way with them, because you cannot be around flaky fucking people. It's just wild. That's literal wild style to me. When it's just you can have this whole persona about yourself that you put out into the world, but then in person, in personal relationships, you're not that. You're really not this kind of fun loving person and vibes and all this shit that you think that you want people to buy. I don't buy that shit, I have inference. What is inference? You look at clues, empirical data. You're looking at things and you put in 2 + 2 together. Where there's smoke, there's fire. When this chick flaked on me the first time, that's a big red flag. When she wasn't messaging me back, that was a super big red flag. When she told me she would love to see me, but then she ignored my messages after that, that's 9 flags dancing in the air, doing the cat daddy and all that. You know what I mean? Doing fucking the Dougie or whatever it is. So I wasn't even counting on her. I wasn't even focused on that at the show. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on being doing my performance, and I performed, and I tripped up some of 2 or 3 of my lines, but that was cool. I wasn't really too whatever. I wasn't too flabbergasted by it. It didn't really get me down, but it was just whatever. I just keep it going. And what else we got? I got these notes written down and all that, because I'm trying to go in order. I don't want to make it so not buying beats. The homie Ray Guns, that's a crazy name too. He got to change his name. Ray Guns is a wild spicy name right there. But he was like, yo, I'm gonna link you with the homie. I think you would want to work with him. So I link up via Instagram with this dude. I think his name is Sick Frequencies or something like that. Shout out to him. But this is what I don't like what producers do. If you want to sell someone your beats, You do that, you let it be known right away. I respect all producers who give me who let it be known that it's like for sale. You know, when you say I want to work with you and you send me beats, I'm not thinking you're gonna charge me. I'm thinking we're gonna make a song together. Because if I was charging some of these producers out here, trust me, the fee wouldn't be low. I wouldn't be giving out fucking flash sales like these other rappers. Oh, buy today because today's price is not tomorrow's price. Like, no, the fucking price is the price, and you're gonna pay it whether you like it or not, or we're just not gonna do business. So if you're gonna send me beats, don't expect me to be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna buy them. Because there was a few beats this guy sent me that I like, but he was like, yeah, you know, I charge this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna buy them. I don't need beats. I don't need beats from nobody. I got the Historian. I got Nelonius. I got Adobe Premiere. I got NC. And those are the four horsemen right now. Adobe Premiere isn't really producing right now. He's busy doing other shit. That's cool. But he still got beats on deck that I'm a murder. And then I make beats. So I'm not in the beat buying business right now. You know, I'm the whole, oh, can I buy a beat or can I whatever is just like, that's over. Like what changed it for me buying beats? I always hated buying beats because, and I always say this, and I don't want to burn this. Maybe I'll burn them later if like some shit transpires. But just to protect the identities of the beats, oh shit! I almost said his name. So there's this producer, well known. He's produced for big art. I wouldn't say big artists, but probably the underground's finest. He had one of these beats on a beat tape, and I could have easily just took it and rapped over it, which I maybe should have done looking back, because I did that with so many producers who were like, yo bro, you never got permission, you never bought this beat, so why are you rapping over it? It's like, go fuck yourself. I'm a rapper. I'm gonna rap over beats. And no one was bitching at Westside Gunn for taking Alchemist's beat. He went over what is it, one of the No Idols beats, I think. He went over the Gang Green beat. He went over so many beats that anybody could have been like, yo, like gave him shit for it. But everyone loved Westside Gunn. It's like, whatever, right? So one of the beats I like from this producer, I'm like, yo, I want to buy this beat. Or I told him I want to use this beat. And he's like, all right, well, to use that beat is $600. And I'm like, well, fucking, I don't have $600 for a beat. I don't even work. Like, what the hell? I'm like, I told him, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll talk to the homies and I'll get back with you, which is like horrible. Like, if you don't have the money, just be like, oh, like, I don't have the money or whatever. Don't try to like congregate it and be like, oh, okay, well, I guess it is business savvy to do that, but just I would prefer, like, if someone ever told me like, oh, like, let me get with the homies and we'll see. It's like, damn, what are y'all gonna do? Like, put $200? You and your three homies are gonna put $200 in or in a hat or whatever and pay for it? I don't know, but that beat he made, Westside Gunn ended up going over not that beat, but a sample, the same loop, like the same sample and the same loop, and they ended up on one of his albums. He has so many albums, Westside Gunn now. I forgot what it was, but I was like, literally, oh, it might have been on that the one where it's like he has a towel on his head, he has glasses, and it's red. It's the one where I think Michael Irvin's on that album. It actually might have been no. Michael Irvin was the title of the Creator beat. But yeah, maybe I'll listen to it and I'll come back to it. But I'm like, literally, had I paid this full $600 and then Westside Gunn rapped over it, I would have felt like shit. I would have been like, bro, I got bamboozled right now. You know, it's just like, why, you know, like, why, like, what was buying the beat? Like, what was the whole buying the beat? Like, why would I even spend $600 for if Westside Gunn was just gonna rap over the same thing? And people would have been like, oh, nah, your shit is whack. You know, you got to be real careful with stuff like that. Not saying that that's why I didn't rap over the beat. It's just like I didn't have $600. And at that time, I kind of was already producing for myself. I mean, I had been producing for myself, like engineering wise and just everything but making the beat. Like I sequenced it, put the samples in, and I just knew how to produce the record. Maybe not the beat, but I knew how to produce records longer than, or actually I made beats. I just been producing in general before I was rapping. So I was like, you know what? It just doesn't make sense to pay someone $600 for a beat that I could have made. And I found the same sample and I looped it. So at any point, I could just rap over it, but I don't think I am. Like, you know, Gun already went over it. So it's like, you know, there's so many beats like that where I wish I could have rapped over first. Like Kendrick Lamar and Makami, they have this beat. They have the same sample of the beat, and it's a Feedman loop. Like they'll kill you for being like, oh, like they jacking loops and from the same samples and stuff. But it's like, yeah, like that's the best part of the song. Like there's literally songs that are like wonky until you hear that one loop and you're like, damn, like that's the hardest track. You listen to everything else and you're like, damn, this song fucking sucks. You know what I mean? So I'm not buying beats. I'm just not going to do it. Shout out to all my producer homies. Again, NC, DJ Adobe Premiere, Nelonius, and I forgot someone's name. NC, Adobe Premiere, Nelonius. I said someone else, didn't I? I don't know. I forgot. But anyway, shout out to the homies. So Saturday, this wasn't even planned. I think Friday night, my pop showed up later in the night. Like I came home and he came home like a minute or two right after me, and I was like, yo, what's up, Pop? Where the fuck you been at? He was at the store buying stuff, and he told me, they're like, yo, you're you know, the family, we're gonna go out shooting tomorrow. Do you want to roll through? And I kind of already had plans with one of my friends to go eat, but I'm like, you know what? I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just tell her we could do it next week, because, you know, shooting, once you shoot all your ammo, it's like you gotta save up to buy more ammo, you know? So I was like, yeah, let's go shooting. Had one of the best times ever. It was like me and like pretty much all my favorite cousins, all my favorite uncles, and we had like two shotguns, an AR-15, two Glock 19s. One of them was mine. Glock 22. Is it a Springfield XD or whatever? That's like a concealed carry. A Colt 45, and my grandfather's 1911 38 Super. That was fire. Like shooting. Like I could tell just looking at the gun in my hands. Like wow. Like Grandpa really liked this gun. I could tell. Like it had. Like I felt his presence. And it was like two of my younger cousins, they're like 14 or 15, something like that. And then one, like, my other cousin, Fabian, I think I'm like 4 years older than him, or maybe 3. He was there too. I think it was the 3 of them, it was their first time shooting. The rest of us were already, you know, we've been doing this bullet breaking rock shit. I don't know why I said that. But shooting my grandpa's 38 was dope. And shooting all the guns, I'm like, the Glock 19 is still my favorite pistol. I really liked it. The AR-15 was awesome too. I don't like shotguns, too big of a kick. I'm really not a fan of shotguns. Because a rifle could do the same job pretty much, and you won't have to. A shotgun is really like for people who miss. Like if you just want to aim, click, spray, and just make sure someone got hit, that's what a shotgun's for. But me, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, you know, have to, you know, because a slug will go through someone and keep flying. Like a slug will go through 3 pigs in a row. AR is like, or a rifle or a pistol is like, you really got to aim and click, you know, and hit your target. You know, it demands a more focused approach, in my opinion. Whereas a shotgun is just like you lift that sucker up and you just knocking whatever is out there. You're knocking down whatever you aiming at. So the AR-15, that's like my favorite rifle right now. The Glock 19 is still my favorite. I'm thinking about getting another Glock too, like maybe like a Glock 43, a Glock 17, something like that, something small, something relevant to the size or smaller. Because the Glock 19 is compact, so you just hold it in your hands versus I feel like with like a Colt 45 or a gun bigger than a Glock 19, in my opinion, I have less control. Like I have a less of a grip, whereas like the 19, it fits like in your hand, like perfectly. Like it just, that's why the Glock 19 is like one of the most popular pistols, because it's just like, it's real concealable. You just pull it out and you hammer with whatever needs to get hammered down, and you rocking and rolling, bruh. And it's like, no, it don't need to be a 45. You don't need to be, John Wayne with it with a 357. But it's just, to me personally, the Glock 19 is my favorite pistol. Like, and I've shot Berettas, Rugers, revolvers, the Springfields. What is it? I lost the steam on that one. Colts. The 38 Super I like real like there's like between the 38 Super and the 45, the Colt 1911s, they're like very similar. Like I could barely tell the difference. Like you could tell the kick is a bigger kick than the 9, but not really. Like a 9 is snappy, but you'll be able to have like better control over it than a 45, I feel. So it was really fun. I had a great time when my cousins and stuff. We got a grill, got an asada, pollo, and we just cooked. We didn't even it was all cooked already, so they just warmed it up on the grill, tortillas. That cut the time like in half, and we spent hours. Like I don't know if you could tell, but like I'm a little sunburned on my arms too. Like I don't know if you could tell, but you probably can. But I was like putting aloe vera on my skin, so I'm good to go. It was really dope, man. Literally, like guns, family, and good food is like the greatest combination ever. And my fucking cousins, they brought beer and they were drinking. I was just shaking my head. I was like, what a great combination. Alcohol and firearms. Like nothing can go bad, But they weren't getting all pedo. It was just kind of like, what is it, like recreational or they weren't being crazy with it. And that's the thing. It's like, why do you need beer to have a good time? It's like, bro, just have a good time. Like you don't need any weed and shit like that. And they weren't smoking, but they smoked a joint at the end when they were done, when we were done shooting and shit like that. But it's like I don't like, it just doesn't mix, you know what I mean? Like guns and alcohol, it's like, nah, that's not it, bro. I really like, I posted a picture of all the guns on the table on Instagram, but then I saw the beer and I said, do not drink and shoot. Like I put a disclaimer literally, because I don't like that. I don't condone that. I don't want people thinking it's okay for you to drink and go shooting, because it's not cool. You have to be a responsible gun owner. You're liable for whatever happens with your guns. And the horrible part is, what if you get all crazy and you pick up your gun and you're going crazy? It's like, we got straps too, bro. So it's like one of us is going down just because you didn't know how to just say, okay, I'm gonna have fun or have a good time without the drink. And I hate that it's just socially acceptable. Like my younger cousins were drinking because my older cousins brought beer, and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. It's like y'all are literally allowing everybody to just be irresponsible people. Like that's not cool, bro. Like where was it ever cool to drink and drive? Like that ain't cool, I don't want to make this all like preachy and shit, but when it comes to firearms, you really, really got to be like focus, no drinking, no drugs, like leave all that shit. Even if you're emotional, don't even think about shooting when you're in a funk or you're depressed or something, because that'll be like even worse, I feel like, than some of fucking the other shit out here. But regardless, it was really fun shooting. We went up like past Victorville and like at this like range, which is like right off the freeway. Like if you driving by and you look, you'll see the shooting range. People are already lined up with their guns, and it's wild. Like, wow, there's a shooting range like right off the freeway. Like if you're not careful, you could, shoot the opposite direction and hit something, God forbid. But it's a possible reality because that's how close it is from the freeway. But we got away from all these people. We got, in our own little section where it was like 2 other people, but they were like way far away from us. So it was cool. It was just really cool shooting my grandpa's 38 Super. I felt like he was with me on the trip. We had 40s. We had 40 cal, 45. We didn't have 22. We had 9.223 5.56 for the AR, slugs, birdshot, and I never shot a slug before. And so my cousin was like, "Yo, just try one shell out." And the kick, a shotgun kick got a big kick, but for some reason the slug just felt like boom, like bitch, like it felt like a good, like a putazo on the shoulder, and I was like, and I remember letting it off, and I remember just being like, ow. And I was like, yo, just like, how are shotguns even popular? I don't like them. The kick is too powerful. My whole thing is rifles and pistols has always been my thing. Revolvers, I like revolvers too. I don't know. Loading is loading. Whether you load it in a chamber or you're loading it in a clip. I just don't like loading. I just rather keep shooting. I don't think anyone likes loading guns really, but maybe I will get some sort of a revolver or something. I'm not really that knowledgeable on revolvers. I'm just more so immersed in pistols. So, that was kind of like how my weekend went. We saw John Wick 3 yesterday. Me and my mom, we finished John Wick 3. I have to say, John Wick 3 wasn't really all that good compared to John Wick 2. Like, I think there were better fighting scenes, action scenes in John Wick 3, but it wasn't really all that, like John Wick 1, 2, and 3 are all in comparison, like very identical. And I think that's really good. If you're looking for action and like kind of like a tight story, nothing too crazy, nothing you got to be like, oh, wait, did I have to catch this little detail to know what happens here? It's like, no, it's like this happens, that happens, this happens. They're shooting, they're killing this guy, and it all makes sense. So John Wick 4, I can't wait to watch it. So for our message of the day, I would just like to say, enjoy life, man. Life is short. Don't be irresponsible. Just have a fun time and enjoy life, man, because life moves fucking fast, and you don't want to have life pass by you and be like, oh, damn, like I just missed my whole fucking life doing dumb shit or whatever it is. You know what I mean? This is the God's Hour.
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now. While the angels fly over my headstone.